Happy Friday, Cardinal family. I have something I want to share with you, and I'm going to want some input. Your principals are going to work with you on collecting that input. Backstory. One of the things that we wanted to try to accomplish this year was to develop a process and start to work on some curriculum maps. Well, as we put together a district committee to tackle that task, we realized when we would say curriculum map, sometimes people would say, are we talking about pacing guide or are we talking about curriculum map? And then we started to talk about what do we actually mean by curriculum. So we took a step back, and with some help from facilitators at ESU 6, we developed what we think are good working definitions for how we operate at Crete Public Schools for curriculum mapping, and for pacing guide. I have attached those along with some non-negotiables that go along with those to this post. I want you to have a look at those. I want you to process those, and I want you to think about what they mean to you and if it's accurate and how you think about it, and it's accurate in how we operate. So I'm going to go through these definitions. I'm going to let you know that though we've put a lot of work into them, they are still a draft and we are still looking for input. So first of all, curriculum. I have them in front of me so I can read. That's why I'll be looking down if you're watching the video. Curriculum, we're calling those the prioritized, let me back that up. Curriculum, we are defining as the prioritized standards in conjunction with the research-informed high-quality materials supporting instruction. Let me tell you how we landed on that definition. First of all, our curriculum is not just the state standards. If our curriculum was just the state standards, we would download and print and call it good. Part of what our curriculum would be the state standards along with the process we go through to understand those state standards. The unpacking process we did for math and English language arts, the unwrapping process that we have accomplished for science, and the continued work we will do with those standards. Now, a point of clarification, I said the prioritized standards, not the priority standards. We were concerned that sometimes that word priority is a loaded word. Our curriculum is not just the priority standards. Priority standards is an exclusionary term. It's like these are the ones that we are identifying as most important. When we say the prioritized standards, it means we have went through all the standards and we have prioritized them by their importance and where they go in our method of instruction. So when we say the prioritized standards, we're talking about all of the standards and the process we went through and how we understand them. The other aspect of that is the high quality instructional materials. Again, our curriculum is not just our resource. If it was, we would say, here's the textbook, here's the online login, that's our curriculum, it's done. It's our process that we go through to select a resource that supports instruction as we understand our standards and the process we went through to prioritize them. So it's not just the standards, it's the standards and the process we went through to understand them. It's not just the resource, it's the resource and our process we went through to select it based on our understanding of the standards. Again, the curriculum, the prioritized standards, in conjunction with the research-informed, high-quality instructional materials supporting instruction. That's how we are proposing we define curriculum at Crete Public Schools. Curriculum map, what we mean by a curriculum map is a district-wide plan for vertical alignment that includes grade level standards and high-quality instructional materials. And then last thing, pacing guide. The pacing guide is primarily used by teachers to plan what is taught throughout the school year. The guide should be flexible, collaborative, and help teams prioritize their grade level standards. So that's how we propose to define those three different things of curriculum, curriculum map, and pacing guide. Now, with what I've attached, there's also some non-negotiables that we think need to be included in all of those. I want you to have a look at those. We're going to get feedback on those non-negotiables as well. Where we will need to still close some ground is what do these things physically look like? We've got a really good handle on what our curriculum looks like if we define it that way. Curriculum map, that's still a little more work. Curriculum pacing guide, that's still a little more work. We have a lot of things out there, a lot of work that you guys have already accomplished that fits in those two things. We still need to work on what does it actually look like for us. And I think there's some negotiation in there. I don't think we could just say, here are the non-negotiables. And now that you have the non-negotiables, you know what those things should look like, go forth and create. I think that's a little too loosey-goosey. I think that if we universally have one form and say, here's what a curriculum map looks like, here's what a pacing guide looks like, And if you do it this way, we know you will have the non-negotiables in there. I think universally that's a little too restrictive. So our middle ground is somewhere in between there. Be thinking about that as well, because it's another thing your principals are going to ask you about. So have a look at these things, have a look at the definitions, and we will figure out what we need to do as we move forward. And pretty soon we'll be working on some curriculum maps, and we'll have a format that makes sense for us. All right, as always, happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next time.